You guys, we are live. What's going on? We are live with another episode of Whiskey Thursday, episode 80 something. I don't know. Like I said, it's Whiskey Thursday. We don't really keep that close a track. But again, if you guys are watching live right now, hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay in the comments down below. We have a special guest tonight who is coming to us from Vancouver. Is that what it was?
Vancouver, yeah.
Another Canadian.
Another Canadian.
Rule Canadian.
Unite.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What are we drinking tonight? Maple syrup.
It kind of looks like it. I mean,
Yeah.
What do you got there? Old fashioned or?
I busted this out for tonight.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Nice.
Amaro El Herborista. My friend just gave it to me for my birthday. She owns like an Amaro cocktail bar. So
Okay.
I've never heard of it before. Probably no one's ever seen it. It's
Yeah, I haven't
Straight
either,
from
but I was
Italy.
like, looks good.
very bitter.
Very bitter. Is it a whiskey?
It's an Amaro, so Italian herb liqueur.
I don't even know what that is. I'll have to look it up after this.
There you go.
No idea either, but hey, sounds and looks good too. So, well, hey, listen, Eric, thank you so much for coming on the show. Welcome to Whiskey Thursday. I think it's going to be a great episode here because we're going to talk about something we've never talked about on Whiskey Thursday: Google Ads. Ooh. It's not something we talk a lot about inside this group. A lot of us are doing Facebook ads, but Eric has decided to focus on another area, and it sounds like you're getting some great results. So I think we're gonna have a really interesting discussion here about what you're doing, what's working, and we're gonna be able to kind of bring some additional value here to this audience again, because so many of us are focused on Facebook ads and generating leads through Facebook. But you're doing all this with Google PPC. So welcome to the show, Eric. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. I know you're really busy. You got a few businesses going, and it's great to have another Canadian on the show. Love seeing people from Vancouver. It's I've never been there, but I heard it's a great city. So, and it looks like it's still light out there.
Yeah, a little bit. Not sunny, but a little light. Well, thanks for having me, guys.
I said
really
the same
appreciate
thing.
Not getting in Sunday. Not lots of rain, right, in Vancouver?
That stereotype is true. Yes.
Did we lose you?
There we go. Well, no, we didn't lose him. You still there, Shane?
Maybe we lost you.
Oh, can you hear me?
We can still hear
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the stereotype about rain is very true.
you. I love it. And actually, I just lost the video feed to the live. So if you guys are watching, let me know. Can you see us? Can you hear us? Are we still live? What is going on? I don't know why it chooses to be tonight. It's probably because Facebook's like, wait a second, we just banned like so many people, so many business managers, so many ad accounts, and now you're getting on someone to talk about Google. Like, this is not going to happen. No, I don't
You think
so.
Facebook's listening?
Maybe
I can-
they're
I can-
listening, man. I don't know.
I can see it live in the group.
Yeah, so can I. Yeah, we're good.
Okay,
We're good.
cool. Anyways, so Eric, why don't you tell us a little bit about your backstory? Because it seems like, pretty intense.
How far do you want me to go back?
Let's go back to, let's see.
Okay, let's go back to my bartender days. Ready?
Sounds good.
Gotta get an orange in this Amaro here first.
Ooh, there we go.
Making cocktails on Whiskey Thursday.
This is what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. We need
Complete.
to do an episode like that, right? Just get a bartender on here just to
Yeah, I used to work at a lot of bougie cocktail bars, so
did you?
we can make that happen if we do an encore. Yeah.
That's what we should do. We should do an encore. We'll do a bartender episode, and everybody gets to come on and call in and complain about whatever's going on with their Facebooks, and you get to be the bartender and just listen.
We'll have to do it. We got to do it in person, though, right? Have to do something.
I don't know. We could set something up. So yeah,
Well, I'm
I'll-
down to go to Vancouver, man. Anytime.
all right, let's do it. I love it.
Get Matt out there. So
I got the points.
it's some good fishing in Vancouver, right?
I don't fish, but probably
Yeah. Oh, good hiking.
lots
You
of
hike?
hiking, snowboarding, anything outdoors. It's pretty good for. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go into a bit of my background. I give you guys a little bio there, but basically I struggled for a little while in my late 20s. I was still bartending. I didn't want to be. I was trying to get out and become an entrepreneur, and I tried a few different businesses, went through the ropes, like tried to start an app. I tried to start a little water bottle company. I tried to start a couple of them. Couldn't really make anything work too much. And I wanted to, I got pretty close, and I I came across this opportunity for this to work for this digital marketing agency that happened to serve real estate agents. So I actually got in there at the ground floor. We were at I was like hire number 18.
Mm-hmm.
So I was super motivated, driven. I was like, I need to get into like a good company and like learn the ropes and then start my own company is what I kind of realized. So I basically, worked my ass off and worked my way up in the company really, really quickly, helped build a sales team. I was number 2 all the way up to 20 over the course of 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Halfway through that, I was kind of given a interesting role from the founder. She was a little bit too busy, but one of her core competencies was actually delivering workshops on Facebook ads as a way to generate new business for the company. Because what they did was build websites. They would run Facebook ads and they do monthly newsletters for people. So I kind of, she gave me that responsibility when I was kind of leading the sales team. And basically I fully took that over, revamped the program. And what I created was a kind of workshop webinar model where I would actually go into real estate offices and present on how to run Facebook ads at a beginner level.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to learn a lot before I did that, right? So there's a bit of a learning curve, but luckily we had a lot of ad buyers in the company who were quite good, who I learned from. So
Oh my God, events to acquire clients. It's like probably
right?
one of the best acquisition methods you can run is doing
it
right? Like
totally is. Like
we teach inside of the academy on like how, like running events to acquire more customers. A little tough right now with COVID going on, but you can move some of this stuff online now. Actually, it's a really good excuse now to do a lot of this stuff through Zoom, right? But I'm assuming you guys figured out that this actually was a really good way to acquire more customers by delivering free training, essentially, right?
Yeah. So what I was doing accounted for about 35% of the company's revenue overall.
Wow.
Crazy.
And not only did it change the game in the sense of it brought in more business, but it increased retention a lot because we were now building relationships before we asked for the buy. Whereas instead what we were doing before was cold calling. So our whole sales team was outbound. So it was outbound cold calling and using the SDR account executive model.
Mm-hmm.
So we were basically cold calling and trying to close deals like that. And
The SJR, is that what you said?
SDRs, sales development rep. So
Okay.
basically cold callers and closers.
Okay,
To
gotcha.
be simple. Yeah. So cold callers would set up appointments for the account executives who would close the deals. And that model worked really well up to a point. And then, I kind of expanded this model and I also brought in webinars too to help it scale. And anyway, I did about 135 workshops, like all around BC, Alberta, Washington, and Oregon and California. So it was expensive, right? But it was nice for me. They were sending me around and paying for hotels and stuff. And it was kind of fun, but got to really learn a lot in that process. And I worked with some ad buyers at the company who worked for, help scale companies to like the several hundred millions of dollars. So I had some good mentors there, which was really nice. And so that kind of hit a point, and me and my business partner, the other guy leading the sales team, kind of who took over for me when I went into this role. And I decided, we're like, hey, why don't we become realtors? We'll probably be good at this, right? So
Was that like the worst decision you've ever made?
So we were like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Like, we're going to do so well. And yeah, we kind of did. Like we went into it, very heavy handed and, had a lot of success right out of the gate. But the first thing we did was like, we went online and we started running ads, right? The thing we were helping everyone else do. And so most of our deals actually came from, Google ads. So we did a bunch of Google ads. We did a bunch of Facebook ads. It worked. We did several transactions, and then we just had a big demand for our marketing stuff, right? As you can imagine, from other agents. So we were like, hey, why don't we use this somehow? So what we actually did was I started reaching out to all of these broker owners of brokerages and who I had made connections with. From that old job, because I would basically prospect the owners of brokerages and convince them that they should let me come in and speak to their agents. And at the end, I'd have like a very little pitch. It'd be like very minimum.
How did that call go for anybody who's curious?
Yeah. So at first it was hard, and then I got a lot better at it. But it was I utilized a Facebook page. I got reviews. I would always link my reviews in my emails and my prospecting emails. I would basically cold call broker owners, and I would use references. So I'd be like, hey, I was just in Shiloh's office like last week down the street from you, like call her, like I know you don't know me. But it was hard to break that ice for sure.
Yeah.
But oftentimes when I did, I'd come in, deliver a ton of value. They really liked it. And I'd come back like another time or another 2 times.
Nice. And you were teaching Facebook ads.
Yeah, it was Facebook ads for realtors at a more beginner level.
Okay. And how long was each of these seminars? Was it an all-day thing? Was it an hour? Was it a 10-minute lunch and learn?
Yeah, so they're all an hour,
Okay.
pretty much. Sometimes they'd roll over, but a lot of times I'd drive down to Seattle from Vancouver at like 5 a.m. and then I'd have a workshop at 10 a.m. and then 12 at noon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd sleep there and I'd have another one at like 10 a.m. So I'd usually like pack them into like a couple days every week.
Okay.
So there was a few months in a row where I was down in Seattle like 3 weeks out of the month pretty regularly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they were all an hour. They were in person. My attendance was usually like anywhere from 10 to like 100. It really varied. And the largest I think I ever did was about 200.
Okay.
Which was pretty scary, but it was fun.
Right. And I mean, were you bringing in a lot of clients from doing this?
Yeah, every workshop we'd probably get about 2 clients.
Okay.
That was probably about our average. I'd say
Mm-hmm.
1.5 at the end of it, 2 in the middle of it. Yeah. 2 was kind of the number we'd go for.
We've got a really, for anybody that's watching, that's part of the Academy. If you haven't checked out Paid to Pitch, the masterclass we did with Cheryl Pinkard, who is probably one of the best we've ever seen at doing live seminars and then pitching clients at the end of it. I mean, there were some occasions that she walked out from a live event with, I think one of her best days was like $18,000 in retainers signed, ready to go with deposits. And it's just, so we ended up doing a masterclass with Cheryl, and she walked through her entire process. But it was probably one of the best acquisition methods we'd ever seen. We'd seen a couple other guys inside of the Academy that started implementing this, Ed being one of them, scaled his agency to over $100,000 by just doing more events and just acquiring customers through events. So anybody that's in the Academy hasn't watched Paid to Pitch, go check that out, because events are a great way to build relationships really, really quickly, And I mean, it's essentially what you were doing, Eric, is offering up some free value, building up relationships, and asking for the sale at the end of it, right? I'm assuming that's what you were doing.
Yeah, and the big takeaway was that realtors get called. For anyone that's not a realtor, like, you get called every day. And when you can get in front of people and build trust and rapport, they'll want to work with you. That's what I'll say. Because if you're just another person calling or emailing them or messaging them on Facebook, they're like, you're just another fly on the wall in my world.
Yeah.
I think going with the mentality of adding as much value as you can first is a super good way to go.
So you guys transition then from live events to webinar style.
Yeah, so I started doing both, because the live events I got to the point, I hit a bit of a saturation point. So it got to a point where I had done like most of the offices in my market and in surrounding markets. So it was like I started flying down to LA, and it just got really tedious. So then I decided to move to more of a webinar model, and it didn't work as well, but close. It was pretty successful.
Any big changes that you made with like from your live event to the webinar? Like, what were you doing, the live webinars, or were you doing like pre-recorded on demand type of
everything? We never did anything recorded, so it was all live. Every event, I was still doing them on a independent brokerage level. So I was still doing the same model. And like, thinking back, I probably should have done it more how we do it today, which is like, we run ads we didn't really run any ads at all. I was straight up prospecting on the phone and by email to get in touch with the broker owners to book a webinar. And I'd make that webinar for that office.
Well, and it would probably work really well right now.
It would, yeah.
Because everything's closed down.
And everybody's what's really interesting right now is, and unfortunately with all this COVID stuff, I mean, it's not, not a great thing, but like, people know Zoom now, right? like, you know, it's like
Yeah.
even my father-in-law, who's like, you know, I don't know how old he is, but anyways, is not very familiar with computers. He knows the Zoom, right? Like
The
like,
Zoom.
yeah, like that's, you know, but like everything is moving towards that, right? Like it's becoming really, really common. And I think this is really great. Like people should start leveraging this as much as possible at this time, right? To where you can start doing these events and these trainings online, and people are becoming a little bit more familiar and are a little bit more comfortable. I think every Zoom call I've gotten on recently, everybody's got their cameras on. Last year, nobody'd have their cameras on. People are just getting more familiar with it.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. And some
Yeah,
people
I think it's
haven't figured out how to turn their cameras off.
yes.
A lot of those videos show up on TikTok and whatnot.
Oh man.
Oh man. So you're doing that. You decide to go become an agent.
Yeah. So just before
First
we
of
go
all,
back to that, I actually today I still do live webinars.
Okay.
I do them for real estate boards, title companies, stuff like that, and they pay me actually, and they
Okay.
still let me have a little bit of a pitch at the end. It's kind of sweet.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Getting paid to pitch.
How'd you
But I
hook
think
that up?
just from my
relationship?
YouTube content, just from yeah, honestly, it's all come from my YouTube channel. People
What's
just
your
reached
YouTube
out
channel?
to me. It's just my name, Eric Preston.
For anybody who's not familiar.
Yeah, and so they pay me, and I still got to pitch them a little bit. And they just a lot of them have me on multiple times. You just got to deliver a ton of value. And my strategy with the pitch is always just like make it super soft. Like, hey guys, yeah, connect me on Facebook, add me as a friend, send me a message. I'm pretty approachable. Check out my YouTube channel. If you guys are interested in my other masterclass, talk to me on Facebook. I'll send you a link to it. You can sign up, and I usually get some sales of our course in that way.
Nice.
Which I guess I haven't got there yet. So yeah, so we became, going back to my background, we became realtors. We had some early success. We started having a lot of demand for what we were doing. So we were running Facebook ads, we were running Google ads. We just had a lot of success with Google ads. And yeah, so then what I did is I started reaching out because we wanted to start an agency. So I started reaching out to all the broker owners that I already knew and had relationships with. And we actually started an agency that helped agents or helped brokerages recruit agents using Facebook ads.
Okay.
So that was a weird one. We like scaled up really quick, and then it just kind of fizzled out, and it got kind of tedious. And
yeah,
we kind of shut that down. We still have a couple clients, but we don't do much of it. So then we went from that because it kind of fizzled out when we wanted to start a course. So then we actually built an online course where we teach agents Facebook, Google, and YouTube ads.
Okay.
But the primary part of our strategy has always been, let's set up really powerful Google and Bing ads. And then let's set up really powerful, first of all, set up your website properly, right? To capture leads. You guys know how important that is. And then
It's kind of a thing.
It's kind of a thing, I guess. People ignore it. You know that.
Right?
Like, I just need to run ads.
Yeah.
No, like that's one part of the picture. So yeah, setting up your website properly and having the right platform, and then optimizing your conversion process after that. So that's more or less what we teach in our course.
Okay.
So that's
Are you
more or
running
less our
these
bread and butter
websites?
today. Sorry?
Are you running these websites, ClickFunnels or realtor websites? You know, what are you typically setting up?
So we typically use real estate websites, and we teach sending Google ad traffic to like search results or sub area pages.
Okay.
So generally our strategy is, let's get people who are on Google searching for homes already onto your website first. Let's get them on a saved search on your website so that your website starts dripping on them automatically.
So would it be something like, just so I'm following here. So let's say Rochester Hills homes for sale. You're bidding on that keyword. You're sending them to the real estate agent's website for the search Rochester Hills area. And then after 2 or 3, they have a forced registration, that sort of thing, or?
Yeah, pretty much immediately. After they look at one property, forced registration, we use Real Geeks. Most of our students use Real Geeks. A lot of use KV Core. But that's really the bread and butter is, yeah, exactly what you said. Like, you know, Vancouver homes for sale, we'll bid on that. We do some foreclosure ads, some new construction ads, some military relocation stuff. Like there's some other ads we run, but the core of it is the buyer search ad, running to a search result or like a sub area page. So like, I don't know if Rochester's Hill is a sub area or a main area, but
so let's since Matt already started digging into this a little bit, thanks for the background, thanks for the story, Eric. Appreciate that. Let's jump right into this. And guys, if you're watching here and you want to learn a little bit more about Google Ads, because that's what we're going to talk about, let us know down inside the comments here. And I think this is a really interesting topic, because a lot of us, myself, Matt, most of us are really focused on Facebook ads. You've kind of taken a different sort of position here, where it's like, we're going to run Google ads for our customers and our clients. And, the whole point of Whiskey Thursday here is to make sure you keep drinking that drink, so you keep sharing your secrets.
We want you to spill the secrets, not your drink. That's how it goes.
All right.
Your secrets, not your drinks.
Is that bartender though? He's good at not spilling drinks, so we should be set.
So for people that are watching, that are kind of interested in trying this out, first of all, I think part of the reason why a lot of us move towards Facebook ads, it's easy, right? Like, Facebook makes it so simple. There's so much information out there about this, right? Throw up a little quick homes list, put a budget in. You can't even target anymore. So it's like, here, just run the ad, put a nice picture, and away you go, right? And start generating leads. You've even got the lead forms now built right in, right? I mean, it's how much easier can it get for Facebook ads? I think with Google, it's a little bit more mysterious, right? Like, people don't really know where to get started. So first of all, like, how hard is it to run Google ads? Like, what you're doing?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a learning curve to learn the platform, because it's very different than Facebook. Now, what I would say about that is it's easier in some ways, because you don't have to actually create any visual content. Whereas with Facebook, you have to create a video or a photo, which is a big sticking point for a lot of agents, just that alone. With Google, though, it's more technical. So like, that's a sticking point for agents too.
What do you mean by more technical? Like, what is it? Just the platform makes it more technical?
It's just more technical, because like, Facebook ads, you're kind of like, you're focusing on your copy a lot and your image, right? And your video, right? Like, Google ads, you're focusing on like your bid adjustments and your like keywords and your, like, are these key, and your locations are really important. Like, if you bid in Rochester Hills and you bid on the keyword MLS listings, like, someone in Rochester Hills could search MLS listings in Google, your ad could pop up, but they're looking for listings in Vancouver. So like, you got to understand how that works. It's like just technical targeting in that sense. Like, Facebook's more of like a visual platform. I think it's a little easier to understand, but then it's harder, because it's like why everyone struggles with YouTube is because everyone struggles with video, right? It's one of those things too. Yeah.
Okay. So, somebody comes to you, they're looking to do some Google, marketing or some social media marketing. Are you typically steering people towards YouTube or Google or Facebook? Like, where do you typically steer an agent?
So
it's such a terrible word to use when we're talking about real estate, but like, what are you pointing them towards, right?
Yeah. So I got into Google because I believe in it, and I'll tell agents the basics is like, throw up a informational video on YouTube about your local area. That will get some interest in you over time. Run some Google ads so that you're at the top of the Google search when people search homes for sale in your area. Because with a Google ad, there's more premeditation than Facebook. It's like, I'll give you guys an analogy. This is an analogy I like to use and how I see Facebook and Google ads. And they're for very different reasons and purposes, in my opinion. Facebook ad is like, when you run a Facebook ad, it's kind of like you're driving down a highway, right? Like, people are scrolling through their news feed. That news feed's a highway. It's a busy highway. There's billboards on the side. Those are ads. You got your family around you. Those are your friends screaming and yelling. There's a lot going on. So like, what are people doing when they're scrolling through Facebook? They're generally bored. So you're trying to stop them in their tracks, get them interested in something enough to take action. Mm-hmm. So I think, like, I talked to Shane about this, is like, the best ads today on Facebook are like, when you actually create an offer, something of value. I think there's a lot of agents doing the old school buyer's guide, seller's guide, that kind of stuff. And it's just doesn't work that well anymore. Right. So I think with Facebook today, you got to be a little more creative and intentional when you want to make an ad work. So Facebook's kind of like a highway. Ads are like billboards. It's a really distracting and busy place. And you got to think about, how am I going to stop people's in their tracks? That's why you use vertical images or square images, because it takes up more space on their screen. Google Ads is like a storefront. So when you walk into a store, you had intention of walking into that store. Just like when you go to Google to search homes for sale in Seattle, you had some premeditation behind that, because you actually went to Google and you typed it in, and you're just putting your ad in front of people when they already were thinking about it. Whereas Facebook, you're kind of capturing them at a time where they weren't thinking about it necessarily, unless you're obviously using like good retargeting techniques and stuff like that. But so I'll say use a combination, run a lot of Google ads, do some retargeting on Facebook. If you can create a good offer, do it. And then YouTube, I don't really recommend people get into YouTube ads too much, but at least a good YouTube video can go a long way.
Yeah.
Let's talk. I want to bring something up, and I'm just kind of curious, people that watch into if they end up doing this, and Matt, if you do this, or even Eric, if you do this. So,
well, Shane, before you go there, if you guys are watching live,
I'm going there.
No, if you guys are watching live, hashtag live in the comments down below. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay in the comments down below. Also, let us know, are you currently running Google ads? Yes or no? We've got a lot.
Always do that. You always do that.
I know, but we got a ton of people here. We got 5 comments. We got to say something. We got to engage with people.
Well, yeah, I was about to engage with everybody. It's like
I'm engaged with my Amaro.
If anybody else does
there you
this.
Go. Eric's like, I'm going to just have a drink while you two bicker.
So I've been doing this for years with Google, for years. In fact, I know I did it today because I was actually thinking about it as I was doing it, obviously because, marketing's constantly on my mind. So, and I don't know if anybody else does this, but when I search something, I avoid the first 3 people, like the first 3 things that come up. I'm like, those are ads. I scroll right by them, right? I'm looking down past the ads, right? Like, what are your thoughts around that? Like, am I the only person that does this, or do other people do this?
No, it's a good question, and there's a lot of people out there who are, we're savvy internet users.
But I've been like this for years, and I'm 45. It's not like I'm not a savvy.
But you run a marketing agency and a course, but
I've been doing this for ever since Google has done ads. I've been doing this, right?
So the good thing is,
click on ads.
yeah, the good thing is they make that little ad thing so small you don't even know half the time. Well, some people.
Unless it's somebody I'm really pissed off with. Like if I see somebody that I don't like a business I've been at before, guess what? I'm clicking on
all day.
All day long, I'm clicking your ad. You motherfuckers pissed me off yesterday. I'm clicking your ad.
I'm just gonna Google you and click your ad.
Just kidding.
But
I'm
good
assuming
point.
This
but
is something a lot of people do. I can't imagine I'm the only guy that's doing this.
I'm sure it is. And there's actually software out there. My business partner does more of this stuff. There's software out there to track if you're getting that kind of fake clicks and click fraud. Yeah. So, but what I would say is it's a pay-per-click platform. So you pay per click. We're getting, 30, 40 cents a click range, $2, $3 a lead range, 10 to 15% conversions on clicks, something like that. So it's pretty good. It's not like that always. It's not like that in every market. But yeah, there's definitely, you definitely get fake bogus clicks, just like anything. And you definitely get people who don't even look at the ads because they're ads, right? Yeah. But it's like
on YouTube, on Facebook, we never get any fake leads or anything. I don't know about anybody.
Oh, they're all perfect.
No, I once had John Stamos opt in. I mean, I'm telling you, we get the real people here.
That's right. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. So I want to go over sort of the process because especially for people that are, we have a lot of marketers on here, right? The audience are marketers. They're people that are, everybody here wants to learn more. Everybody, it's in our nature to know everything, right? So walk us through, if you don't mind, walk us through sort of the process of like right from the beginning. Like, what is it that if I have a client, what do I need to do to get my Google ads up and running for that client? Like, is it just set up an account and start digging into it? Or is there, aside from taking your course and,
Yeah. Yeah. So our course is specifically just for agents, but in terms of your question, there's a beautiful program called Google Ads Editor. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a desktop application and it connects with so in Google Ads, you have a manager account, just like a business manager in Facebook. Right. and then I can manage multiple accounts. So the best part about it, and I shouldn't be saying this so I don't generate competition in my world, but Google Ads is very automated. And with Google Ads Editor, you can just like copy and paste ads into a different account, which is really, really nice. And then just change the keywords and the titles and the descriptions and everything.
Cool.
So you can onboard and set up a client pretty quickly, if you will. But it's taken a while to make it quick. There's a lot of technical aspects. There's a lot of different areas, I would say, there's a lot of different technical areas in Google Ads Manager than I feel like there are in Facebook. Facebook kind of walks you through it all. There's so many little technicalities in Google that you can constantly change that sometimes, like you got to pay attention to the details, but once you get it down, it's more a matter of copy and pasting work you've already done and changing all the details of it.
Okay.
Using Google Ads Editor.
And so is that like, when you say it'd be real easy to like copy and paste, are you running like a spreadsheet? You're going to do a find and replace on these keywords to go to this client, throw them in, and you're good to go?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. It's more just like you can literally see all your ad accounts in one dashboard, and you can just like copy the ads. You can copy the entire campaign. So like the entire campaign, including keywords, extensions, everything into another account. It's as simple as that.
And so for a basic account,
I was going to say, can you copy your ads to my account?
I could.
Right? So for a basic account,
So let's do the first person to 500 comments gets a free ad.
Hey, there you go. Deal.
the 500th comment. We're
500th
gonna
comment
we're gonna
gets a
whole
free
lot of comments up to $4.99, and everybody's gonna be jumping in then.
Yeah.
Anyways, so for most clients, when you're getting started with somebody, what's the minimum budget they need to have to get into Google Ads?
Yeah, good question. I would say $5 a day is a minimum.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. You can do less for sure. I don't really work with anyone less than $300 a month. Cause I just like, when you're bringing on a client, like they're paying me $300 a month or whatever my fee ends up being, 3 to 5 usually. Like if they're paying that much in a management fee, like they should be willing to be spending, at least $300 a month in ads. Cause it's beneficial for me, obviously, because they're going to get more results. They're going to be happier.
Right.
So I usually say 300 is a minimum per campaign. If they only spend 300, I'll probably only do Google Ads too. I'll usually say at least 500 if you want me to do Google and Bing. And one of the cool things about Bing is you can actually copy your Google Ads over to Bing.
Yeah, they saw the writing on the wall. They're like, we got to make this easy for people, or they're not going to do it. There's no way.
Their platforms are so identical. It's funny. I actually like Bing's better, to be honest.
Really? We've seen, and it's been years, but when we were running a lot of ads with Google and Facebook and Bing at the same time, we saw a lot of stuff on Bing that we could get kind of the same lead, right? Because it's still a search intent lead. It's just somebody who's never decided not to use Internet Explorer and change their homepage, right? So we could still get intent leads, but we were getting a little bit cheaper. Is that something you're still seeing?
Yeah, Bing's usually a little bit cheaper and more intent behind them, because this is how I see it. The people who use Bing are less savvy internet users and more susceptible to online lead generation.
That would make sense. Demographically speaking, do you know what that looks like?
I know that Bing ads are also Yahoo ads, by the way. And
That's old school.
they account for 9% of the market, 9 to 10%. I think the user base, I don't have the data on it actually, but I think the user base is slightly older.
Okay. That's kind of what I was wondering.
Can you guys film me? What's Bing? What? That's like
Go to bing.com.
Is that a dumb question?
Wait, are you for real asking?
Is that a real question?
Like, is that a search engine?
Yeah, it's Microsoft's search engine. So when you have a Mac, or when you have a PC, sorry.
So when we say in our webinar, you don't have to be super technical in order to run an ads agency. Point in case. I love how everybody just was like, wait, are you messing
Is
with
Bing the one that comes with
It's the one that comes stock in Internet Explorer, right?
That's the Microsoft browser, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
so
the
like
thing. Nobody
it's,
uses it, right? But you said, that Bing and Yahoo account for 9 to 10% of the traffic. Is that right?
it's like the people that go to Best Buy, get sold the HP laptop, open it, use Internet Explorer because it's installed, and then they're off to the races. That's the Bing traffic right there.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Got it.
So let's say somebody's starting with $5 a day.
Yes.
Sorry, Shane. We're going to move on. Take notes. No, I'm just kidding. Somebody starting with $5 a day, right? Is that person, like, how many keywords is that person bidding on typically in one of your campaigns?
So I don't like to go over 8 keywords. 8, yeah. Not like words, but phrases.
Keyword phrases. Okay.
Yeah.
And are you going long
phrases.
tail or are you mixing it? Like with 8, I imagine you can't
So-
really do much.
We used to do more of a variety until I just ended up doing a ton of testing, and I just kind of know it works at this point. And
Mhm.
I've pretty much will always put the city name in the keyword.
Okay.
A lot of people won't do that, but I'll do like homes for sale in X city, condos, apartments for sale in X city, like MLS listings in X city, MLS listings Vancouver, for example. And what it does is it just weeds out the leads that are actually looking elsewhere, like we talked about before. Someone in Vancouver searching MLS listings or homes for sale or whatever, but they're actually looking for homes in a different city. So yeah, I pretty much only bid on like 8. We use broad match keywords. And then, so for anyone that doesn't know what broad match means, you can bid on like homes for sale in Vancouver, and they'll actually show the ad to anyone who searches like houses for sale near Vancouver, or condos in Vancouver, or properties in Vancouver. It'll match to a broad.
You have exact match and then you have broad match. Is that right?
And then you have phrase match. So phrase match is like close variants only. So like houses for sale versus homes for sale.
Okay.
Or like
I'll be right back.
for sale homes. Yeah, no worries. And then broad match is like you'll match anything close to that search term, and then exact match is it has to be exact. So I generally only use phrase and broad, mostly broad these days, and I include the city name.
Well, and I think I want to touch on something here, because last time you and I spoke, you kind of you talked a little bit about how much easier Google ads were than sort of Facebook ads and just all the other issues we run into with Facebook. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because like you're talking about where you're charging retainers of like $300 to $500, where I'm thinking like, I'd die if I'd be charging $300 to $500 for retainers on Facebook. There's so much work that's going into some of these ads. And it's not just the ads, it's the campaigns in general, and then dealing with Facebook shutting down your accounts and ads getting disapproved and all these other things we need to deal with. What do you see at Google?
So part of the reason I switched to Google is I just really believe in it, 1, but 2, Facebook was pissing me off. I kept getting ads, and like I've spent, 6 figures in Facebook ads. Like I've spent a lot of money on Facebook ads. And I've spent a lot of time on Facebook ads, and it is more labor because you have to switch things up all the time. And the good part about Google and why you can charge a lower retainer, and that's for just PPC services. It's pretty common to charge $300 a month. For some clients that want more than one campaign and they want some extra stuff, I'll do like 400. And when it's USD, it ends up being 500, so, it's the best part about it is once you set it up and optimize it, you can just leave it. Like because then you're billing people, but you're not actually doing a lot of work. Maybe a check-in every couple months, but it's really as easy as that. Unlike Facebook, where there's a lot of ongoing maintenance to it, with Google Ads, you can more or less just let it run, honestly, and it actually gets better and better and better over time. The algorithms are smarter, I find. Facebook algorithms are super intelligent in a different way. Like, when you're trying to scale with Facebook ads and you try to edit your budget, it screws everything up. But with Google ads, you can literally just go from $10 a day to $100 a day. and it won't, your cost per lead won't go from $5 to like $30 all of a sudden. Like on Facebook. So you can charge less because the setup process is a little easier. Like getting access to an account is like, I just go in, I say, send access. They click accept in an email. That's it. I copy my ads over. I optimize them over the first couple months. Then I let it run. And they're paying me at that point for my expertise to actually make that happen in an effective way. Because after having a course that teaches people how to do this stuff, they make a lot of mistakes. Like I go into people's ad accounts and I'm like, man, you guys are targeting like so wrong here. You're getting leads from like, you know, way hell out of nowhere. And so for the reasons that like, yeah, the ad account's getting shut down, the scaling being tough, the maintenance, like you charge a much lower retainer, but generally there's a little bit less work long-term per client.
And did you already talk about what the radius is and how the housing categories are different with Google versus Facebook?
We talked about everything, Matt. You missed everything.
Yeah, you were done.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
So that wraps it up, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this Thursday. Another episode here.
I was like, how long is he going to commit to this?
So are you talking about the special ad category?
Yeah. So
stuff?
with Facebook, you got special ads. You got a 15-mile radius.
Yeah. Okay. No, good question. So I'll be honest, like I haven't done as deep of a dive into this yet, but what I do know is that it's not going to affect Google ads like it affects Facebook ads, because Google ads, you're rarely targeting in that tight of a radius. I don't do it for anyone. All my ads for all my clients, I'm running worldwide. Okay. And I'll exclude certain countries. Like there's some click farms in, like India and stuff like that will generally exclude India and China and like some of the bigger countries. Yeah, exactly. And then I can go in and see a user location report. If there's any countries that are random that I'm getting a lot of clicks from, I'll just exclude them. Yeah. But
because you could be from, you could be from Toronto and say, hey, I'm looking for a home in Vancouver. I might be moving in 2 months.
And the best thing about those leads is that they don't know anyone generally in Vancouver. Yeah. So they don't know a realtor already. Yeah. So like you're getting leads from out of town. And if you're their first point of contact, you're their first point of contact. Like you're their guy. So local leads will always know someone who knows a realtor, right? So anyways, so in terms of the radius, we generally target in an area, and there's an option in Google Ads where you can target people in or regularly in your location, or just people searching for your location. So generally I'll choose that, and we'll get 80% of the leads will be like from Canada, say, if I'm in Vancouver, and then 20% will be like mostly like UK, US, Australia, stuff like that, English speaking countries. And then there'll be some like South Africa, some like other random countries, but we try not to exclude too many of those, because sometimes you get great leads from those places.
Yeah.
So what I guess my point is with the special ad category, because you're bidding on keywords, it actually doesn't affect it as much, because you're literally just bidding on keywords. Whereas Facebook, it's a lot different. You're actually trying to bid on interests of people. You're not bidding on really interests on Google ads. You're just bidding on what they search, which isn't discriminatory by nature. So you're not that limited.
So let's walk through sort of the next step. So it sounds like it's pretty easy to get up and running. You can probably get an ad up pretty quickly. What's sort of the next step for the client? So you mentioned Real Geeks. And for people that don't know what Real Geeks is, or Conversion, or some of these other IDX-based websites, I'm assuming what you're doing is you're driving them to. So are you doing like an ad for like, hey, homes in Vancouver for under $5.6 million? Like, is that what you're doing? I'm only saying $5.6 million because like,
where'd you get that number from?
do you know I was looking at neighborhoods in Vancouver. I think there was one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Canada, Vancouver. I think there was a price, like the average home price is like $22 million.
Point Grey, probably, yeah.
It's crazy. But anyway, so it's
where the Prince Harry moved.
Oh, really? Yeah. Interesting. So are you driving, like, is that what you're doing? Is you're like, homes in Vancouver for under 750,000, or foreclosures in Vancouver, click here or something like that. And then that's driving them to an IDX website where they can look at the homes. And as soon as they click on the second one, you're popping up a lead form where they actually have to fill out their information. They capture the lead at that point, and that gets sent to the agent. Is that what you're doing?
Exactly. Yeah. So we're not doing the ad as in like a custom list like you would on Facebook, like homes or condos under 700K or something. It's just homes for sale or condos for sale or apartments for sale in Vancouver.
Okay.
Or you can do sub areas if you want to get more specific. You can do condos for sale in Point Grey or whatever. There's no condos there. They're only multi-million dollar homes, but you get the idea. So yeah, it's a little bit different. And then we're driving them to an IDX website with a search result. And that search result will have properties that they can click on right away. And as soon as they click on a property, we force lead capture them.
So, right on the first click.
Right on the first one, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
And we get about 10 to 15% depending on the website. Real Geeks is the best. We use it. I use it myself for my real estate website. I recommend all my students. I actually make a decent amount of money referring people to them. And they're
what's the reason you recommend them other than the affiliate commission?
It actually, like, that came after. I was recommending so many people to them. I'm like, hey, do you guys have an affiliate program? They're like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh, well, you should have told me earlier. But but I use it myself. My sponsor, the XP, uses it. We've used it since we started real estate. So we worked for a company that made websites, and then we left the company to become realtors and didn't use that company for their websites.
Oh wow. Okay.
We used Real Geeks. And
is it a big company?
Not that big.
Okay.
They're in Vancouver. They're like, I don't know, 25, 30 employees, something like that. I think they got like 300, 400 clients maybe. But they're like 300 a month retainer style thing, even less. It's all IDX based. So a lot of our students buy Real Geeks, or they use Conversion or KV Core or whatever. And we're using the listings as a lead magnet.
I got to know why you're using Real Geeks, because I got to say, man, Real Geeks got the ugliest freaking templates ever.
Well, they do. You're right, and that's why what I often recommend to people is get a Real Geeks site. My website is yvrhomesearch.com. I also have yvrcribs.com. YVR is Vancouver's airport name, but we recommend making them as general as possible, so they don't even know a realtor's behind it. And then you can have your own personally branded website, which that company we worked for is fabulous for. They make the best, nicest, sexiest websites out there, but they suck for lead gen. So
you're essentially using Real Geeks just for the lead gen.
Exactly, yeah. And then like a lot of people that work with some of the brokerages, like EXP or Royal LePage, or there's one out here, McDonald, that give you KV Core. We say use your KV Core for your personal branded website, make it look nice. Send your mom to it. And then use your Real Geeks for your PPC and all your lead gen, right?
Right. So are you tying the two together? Sorry, I just want to know. So I want to know this stuff because this is what I'm going to do next here. I'm going to go start running some PPC ads.
Well, I can help you with that.
Yeah, I figured you would. But are you tying the two systems together? Like, are you tying KV Core with Real Geeks, or are you like our agents working inside of Real Geeks? Real Geeks actually has a really nice CRM system.
Their CRM's great.
Really
one of the big benefits is you can see everything a user does on your website. So what I recommend to people is you can sort by recently active on Real Geeks CRM. And then you take few people who are recently active and they looked at a condo on 4th Street, and you can give them a call and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I actually sold a unit just down the road from the property you were just looking at. I was wondering if you wanted any more information on the area, or blah, blah, blah. It just gives you a reason to talk to people and break that barrier. But to your question, which I've forgotten now, can you repeat it?
Basically, why Real Geeks? And like, I mean, does that compare to something like Real Estate Webmasters or REW?
From what I've heard about REW, I haven't used them, but I haven't heard the best things. Real Geeks, I've found, have been getting a lot better in certain ways. They're not the prettiest websites, but we have a guy we work with, Todd Boger, who builds them. Okay. And he can actually make them quite nice. I just you gotta pay for it, right? You gotta fork out the dollars to make it look nice.
Makes sense.
But they're super functional. They do lead gen the best. I actually split tested PPC with a KV Core website and a Real Geeks website side by side, and the lead cost was half with Real Geeks.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm like, if you're spending enough money, that can really add up.
Yeah.
So I recommend a lot of people to them, and I have a good relationship with them now. So they give people I send to them a bit of a discount, and
Nice. Yeah. Well, that's good to know. It's great. We have a couple questions here. Matt, do you want to go through some of those? And
Yeah.
guys, if
When
you're
are we doing
watching-
the master class? Or wait, no. You meant in the comments?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Giovanni says, what is the conversion rate of Google Ads?
Yeah, so this is a question that I get a lot. And, the conversion rate of any advertising is up to the person converting them, right? And
these don't just convert themselves.
I mean, but like for
mean,
the Google ones though, like, don't they show up with a signed contract just to work with you?
Yeah, pre-approved, ready to go.
Yeah.
Just rearing to give you money. So I get this question a lot, and I will say 1 to 3% would be a good result. 1%. So if you're getting $3 leads, which we did this month, we had like 270 at 280 a lead. And if you're getting 100 leads, if you can convert one of them, that's a good result. My sponsor, Jason Smarty's out in Nanaimo. He sold 135 homes in his first year in real estate. So he's an absolute destroyer.
He's a killer.
He's a destroyer of a human being.
Yeah.
And that's why I decided to work with him, because he's just such a killer. And we have very complementary skills. I do the marketing. He does like the, business building. And so he does 4%. The reason I'm telling you that is he does 4%, but he has an ISA. He has 2 ISAs in house. He spends $300 a day on PPC. And they do 4%, and he sells 400 homes a year.
There you go. So that's at a high level. He's doing 4%. I mean, how's he do on Facebook ads?
He doesn't do a lot of Facebook ads. He does,
well, is there a way that you can
lot.
compare somebody who has done both?
So
a way bigger result or not really?
I don't do his marketing, but if I was spending $300 a month on PPC or a day, I would be really keying in on Facebook retargeting, because there's a lot of quality traffic that is going to his website that should be.
Well,
and
that's a good question that I just came up with, and I'll tell you now. I just realized I never said it. So now, are you also doing Google Display to retarget?
Not yet.
Okay.
Because
it's simply Google Search, AdWords, right?
We're just doing AdWords, yeah. So it's to get into that, I'd probably want to charge a higher retainer, and it just adds a level of complexity to it that.
Well, you have
I haven't
placements or something like that with Display Network.
Yeah, exactly. And I haven't proven it out yet myself, and I don't know if there's a ton of value in it yet. I think there'd be more value in retargeting with Facebook at scale. So that's kind of where I would go with it, is combining the two. And I think someone said, similar to Facebook in terms of conversion. And I know some of the stuff you guys teach are like good Facebook ads. So if you guys are doing, you're actually doing like a good list or a good offer, like you can get good conversion rates with that stuff. But the reality is most people aren't doing good Facebook ads.
Yeah. Go watch the section on Shane's new construction stuff inside the Academy if you're wondering about that really good stuff, because that is
there's some better stuff now coming.
I know, but with it, for what's in there right now, that
worked. It still worked really well,
but it's tough for everybody to do, right? Not everybody can do that off the bat. So
Well,
I've spilled some secrets. Why don't you spill some secrets back?
Yeah, well, no, but to Eric mentioned this earlier. A lot of it just really depends on the agents, right? Like, I mean, it's not. Yeah, the offers do help sometimes, but we've seen it over and over again where we have agents that can't convert leads In the same markets, we've got agents that are converting leads at 1%, 2%, 5%.
Yep.
In the exact same markets, with the exact same type of leads, And so one of the biggest variables are the agents that you're working with. I think the other thing too is the offers play a big part in terms of being able to convert some of the stuff. And Eric, I'm happy to share some of the stuff that we're doing. So no worries there. You want to help us out on some of the Google stuff? We'll share what we're doing on the Facebook ad side. But I'm kind of curious to know about the retargeting. What you would consider would be a good retargeting campaign. So people are coming to the website, they're opting into whatever offer you've got. What are you doing on Facebook to retarget some of those, or what would you suggest?
Right now, just custom list. Basically, because we're doing a buyer search on Google. We're targeting if I did a Vancouver search ad, I'd do a retargeting ad for the same thing. Because for every 10 people that go to our website, there's 8.5 that aren't converting.
Right.
So I want to try to convert another few of those. But the funny thing is that I've found with Facebook retargeting at the scale that my team's doing it at right now, I haven't been able to test this at a the scale that Jason's, like if he's spending $300 a day, like there's a bit of a scale factor there that would work better with retargeting, but I haven't found the leads to be of lower cost. Like if I were to just take an extra $5 a day and spend it on Google, or if I took $5 a day and spent it on Facebook retargeting, I haven't found there's been like a big difference yet.
Well, it could, part of the strategies with retargeting is essentially trying to convert the leads that you currently have, right? It's building more rapport, staying top of mind. A lot of the leads that you're generating are not necessarily going to convert now. A lot of times we're using retargeting ads to make it easier on the agents to convert the leads they currently have, right?
Exactly.
Or we're putting a secondary offer in front of them, right? And so that when the agents are calling them up or they're texting them, it's like, oh yeah, I keep seeing you on Facebook. You're all over the place. You're the guy that I want to work with.
Brand awareness, right? And I think I tell this to people all the time is like when you're doing online lead gen, and like you guys know this as good as anyone, like people don't know you. It's like dating. Like you don't go in for the kill on the first date every time. Like you got to warm people up, and online you have to have places for people to go to actually check you out, such as Facebook page with reviews, a Google My Business profile, huge. Anything that allows people to say like, who the hell is this guy Shane texting me asking me what kind of home I want to buy when I just signed up on this website called yvrhomesearch.com. It's like what's going on here? They might want to go online and check Shane out, the realtor, before they actually engage with you. So it's really important to have that stuff.
Well, it's really interesting. So I signed up for something yesterday, and I found like just the strategy he was using. It's a well-known marketer. Actually, I didn't sign up. I haven't bought. So essentially, the first offer is the free training webinar thing, right? And I went through the sales page and so on. I get off the sales page, and right away, new ad, new offer, right away, right? And then so I'm scrolling through Facebook, blah blah, and then I see another offer, and then this morning a different offer. Like this is 4 different offers in less than 24 hours, and then I get a text message. I know exactly who that text message is coming from because I've seen his face 4 times on Facebook, right? Obviously, it's an automated text message, but just the timing of what this marketer did was really, really well done, because by the time I got the text message, and I'm sure I'm going to get a phone call within the next couple of days here, I'm going to know exactly who this person is, and I've watched all the videos, and he's built rapport with me, right? And I think this is sort of something that I think we can do a little bit better as marketers and as real estate agents, is just continuously build that rapport and make sure that people know who we are when we call them, which makes it that much easier, right?
People have an element of like, there's always an element of like famousness too, when like people see you all over the internet.
Absolutely.
Like, oh,
everybody wants to talk
everywhere.
To Matt.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to talk to Matt. Everybody I talk to all the time. It's like, is Matt going to be on the call? And I use Matt's Zoom, his Zoom account, right? And so everyone's like, my camera's off, and then they come on and they see Matt's face on there, and then I go on, they're all disappointed. It's like, oh, I thought I was going to.
You never told me this.
I know, you're famous.
Come on now.
You're famous, but it's true though, right? Like there's that. I think that and agents can do that, right? And we call that celebrity effect, right? We talk about this inside of the academy. Matt talks about it inside of Brand Over Brawn. You know, you're building up the celebrity effect inside of your local farms or local areas, right? And that can go a long way. People want to work with celebrities. People want to work with people they see all the time.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
Very cool.
Yeah. I'm very bullish on brand.
well,
Awesome. Well, I've never, I guess I'm not buying a house in Vancouver because I haven't seen any of your videos. So we're going to have to go looking. Are you active? Are you quite active inside of Vancouver?
Not anymore. No. I'm actively avoiding it. Yeah. It's too much time. Like I'm so busy as it is with the PPC agency and the course and everything. It's like,
Awesome.
you know, it would be nice to think of going and selling a $2 million home and banking 30K, but it's just such a big distraction from the big picture, you know?
Right. Well, you got a lot of things going on and stuff like that. I think we got a couple of extra questions here coming in. Franklin here was asking earlier, what do you think makes the difference between Real Geeks and KV Core?
Yeah, good question. It's how the lead capture is presented, in my opinion. If you have so here's one of the things with KV Core is there's a tick box that's hard to see that you have to accept the like privacy policy before you hit the okay.
Interesting.
It's like down to the right in the corner. It's like a tick box so that you put in your email, you put in your name, your phone number maybe, and then you got to like find this little tick box. And I think a lot of people don't. I also think Real Geeks is really good at displaying the value you get for signing up. It's like, this is what you get, like new property updates, this, exclusive access. And like really, and it also shows you everything in the background really well. So you can see like what you want to get access to and you can scroll in the background.
Right.
I just think it's the way they do lead capture and also the speed of the websites. Like Real Geeks is a very lean platform. I think KV Core, every time I use it, I'm like, God, this is so slow.
Interesting.
So those things combined, I think, make the difference.
yeah.
Love it, man. Well, listen, Eric, we really appreciate you coming on Whiskey Thursday tonight. Thank you so much for sharing a bunch of value. I think we're going to have to bring you on again because I think there's a lot more that we can talk about at some point.
I want to dive into stuff. Like,
Matt's like ready to.
We're just getting started. Why did we commit to the 60-minute thing?
Well, I'd love the opportunity. Like I was actually thinking it's like, oh, this would be great. Like, let's go out and let's build out a Facebook or a Google ad, right? Because I'm not like, we're not really like, I know Matt has probably done it a few times. I've mostly focused all my time on Facebook, only because it's so much freaking work. I don't want to do anything else, but you know, at some point down the road, it'd be great to get you back onto Whiskey Thursday. It might even be, you know, interesting if, you know, obviously we let our members decide what kind of master classes they want here, but it might be really interesting to maybe get you on one of our master classes.
Well, let's ask them, guys. If you're watching right now, guys, girls, ladies, men, everybody who's watching right now, if you're interested, not that Eric has committed to saying he would do it or anything like that, but I mean, you know, peer pressure, little whiskey or whatever. I can't think of the word. Amora. Never know what's going to happen. So if you guys are interested, let us know down below in the comments. Would you like to see a masterclass where we're covering, you know, some Google ads, some AdWords, some PPC, maybe some Bing stuff? I don't know. Maybe it's just Google My Business and setting that up so you start to show up for basic SEO for your name. I mean, there's a lot of things we could get into. So let us know what you're thinking. Also, if you guys are watching on YouTube, leave a comment down below. Let us know that you're there. And then click the link in the description so that you can come over to the Facebook group, because that's where it happens live every week, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Thursdays. There we go.
You got it. Again, Eric, thank you so much for spending an hour with us here tonight. It was a blast. I hope we can get you back on here and do this again. Everybody that's watching, thank you so much for tuning in to Whiskey Thursday, another episode here. And we will be back next week with, we've got Mike coming on, right?
From Mike, the real estate marketing dude.
The real estate marketing dude, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Yep. Cool guy too. Cool guy. We had an opportunity to sit down with him for a little while. It was great, and it seems like he knows what he's doing in that space. So we're really excited to have him.
Really big on video. So
what's that? Yeah,
he's really big on video. So
big on video content. So definitely really good. And Eric, really appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much. Any
Thanks for
sort of
having me on,
last,
guys.
any last tips for anybody that wants to go out there and try to figure out Google Ads?
Is there a Facebook blueprint variation of Google AdWords?
Facebook, there's a Google Ads certification, that you can get. If anyone wants to follow me online, follow me on Instagram, check out my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook. Happy to connect. We got a couple more questions in there. I'll answer them in the chat after this. Guys, just reach out if you want any more information. I run an agency for realtors, and I have an online course that teaches it. And next year, I'm probably going to create a course on Google Ads for entrepreneurs. So stay tuned for that.
Cool.
I like it. So, all right, let's see. I must have missed a question here. Which one Which one did you find?
It just came in. Someone was asking if it's worth getting your real estate license as a agency owner.
Okay. What do you think?
Good question. I think that people will trust you more as a licensed agent with some experience for sure. Is it worth going through all of that hassle when you already have a business? Probably not.
Unless you live in Michigan, it's 40 hours.
Unless it's wherever you are, it's easy to get.
Yeah.
And you're willing to get your feet wet and get some experience, but it's a difficult type of job to get some actual traction and results and get your feet wet and get some experience. But will it help your agency? Yes. Is it worth it? That's for you to decide.
And I definitely think it adds a lot of credibility for sure.
Does.
And I think that, like, even for me, right? I've always like, I'm not licensed. I'm looking to get licensed, but I'm not licensed. But I've always, every single conversation, I've always leveraged either my wife's license or Matt's license. Every single time.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Matt doesn't know, but like, it just adds that extra credibility, right? Like, if I can say, like, yeah, my partner has been, he's been licensed for the past 8 years. He's worked for KW, one of the largest teams in Michigan. Like, all of that stuff adds credibility to whatever you're doing, right? Matt, going to hell, Matt. What are you doing? But definitely, I think it adds a little bit more credibility, especially if you're talking to a real estate agent, right? Like, you can speak the same language. You've gone through the bullshit of getting your license, and at least you have that, and you have that in common with the person that you're speaking to, right? So
Absolutely.
Definitely, if it's something, and you know what, like, especially people that are in the US, you guys are, you're so privileged to be able to get your license in 2 weeks. Like, it is
2 weeks.
nuts.
It takes forever. We do it in a week,
so long
man.
up here.
Michigan's like, boom, checkout line. There you go.
Like it is absolutely crazy in Ontario. I don't know. I think in Vancouver it's probably close to the same, like in BC.
It's super difficult. Yeah. We did it while we were working full time, and it was tough.
Yeah. But like, it's essentially like in Ontario, it's an equivalent to a college degree here now. Like, it really is, right? Like, it's like, you go to Michigan, you can do it on a Wednesday.
Nah, you need a Wednesday, Thursday, because it has to be at least 30. It's a 40-hour class, but you can get it done in like 32, something like that.
And what is it, like $50 to get your license?
Oh, I don't know. I had a coupon. So.
Yeah, it's 7,000.
I think I got a Groupon, and it was like, real estate license, $29. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyways.
So if you guys are watching this long, if you stay through the whole thing, don't forget #SuperTrooper down in the comments below. And Eric, we're going to ask, where's the best place for people to reach out? I know you said Facebook. We kind of went through it really quick, but like, where do you want people to reach out? And
YouTube or Instagram. I spend all day on Facebook, and I'm pretty active on Facebook, but I'm really working on.
Let me throw your YouTube down here real quick. Let me grab that.
Yeah, just search. Boom. I can throw it in the comments.
No custom channel URL. What is this? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, search me, Eric Preston. I actually just
put you got it.
in the
Boom.
comments. And then you can find me on Instagram. It's Eric B Preston at Eric.
Well, perfect.
B.
If you got all your links there, feel free to toss them in real quick so people can jump on there. And like you said, the best way to get a hold of you, the way you prefer, is
probably Facebook.
Facebook. Okay.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to hire you, where do they go? Let's say they want you to. Do you do white label, or that maybe just work with agents?
For now, I just work with real estate agents. Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to hire me, probably just send me a message on Facebook, add me as a friend, comment on one of my YouTube videos, and I'll send you my Calendly link and we can book a time to chat.
Okay, perfect. Sounds like a plan.
Good stuff.
Cool.
Well, Eric, thank you so much for coming on Whiskey Thursday. Stick around
Stick
for a little bit. Everybody else that's watching, we've got a few people here, Franklin, Tom, and Giovanni. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. And everybody else has been watching through the show and supporting Whiskey Thursday and supporting the Academy and REMCM and all that stuff. Thank you so much. Again, if you're watching from YouTube, make sure you tune in every Thursday, 8 p.m. inside the Real Estate Marketing Conversion Mastery Facebook group. And with that, guys, we will see you next week.
Take
See
care.
you guys. Thanks for watching.
Stick around, Eric.